From the center of Montpellier, the route heads directly west toward Juvenac. Then it heads south along cycle tracks to the D5 highway, which leads to Pignon. A protected bike lane follows alongside the D5, leads to Poussin. Then on shared roads to the Etang de Thau, where cycle tracks guide you along the lakefront to Mèze. It's hilly at the start and ends flat after 40.8 kilometers. While the French government has been improving its bicycle infrastructure, many city centers have retained their ancient grid, dominated by narrow streets and pedestrian thoroughfares. Often there are protected bike lanes located outside the historic centre-ville. This makes entering and leaving a particular challenge for two-wheel travelers. But with the help of Google Street Maps, it is possible to avoid automobile traffic and safely navigate these ancient streets by creating detailed route maps before leaving home. This map leads us 1,500 meters from the Place de la Comédie to the nearest bicycle lane on Cour Gambetta. We leave on another sunny morning and circle the Place de la Comédie one last time, passing the Three Graces Fountain, the National Opera House, and admiring the architecture of the surrounding buildings. We exit the square on Rue de la Loge. It takes a while to wind our way out of the center. Luckily, many streets have light traffic or are pedestrianized. The Boulevard de Jeu de Paume is a wide street with many tram tracks. We cross carefully here and make our way to a quiet road going west. We make our way to Cour Gambetta to cross the road and continue on a two-way bike lane on the left, a tree-lined boulevard. This street eventually becomes Avenue de l'Odève. We start a long, gradual climb. It's a wide road with tram tracks in the middle. As directed, along the climb we cross over and the path continues on the opposite side. This goes a long way and takes us safely out of the central city. We turn south on Avenue Messina and continue on the bike path. Then to the west on Rue Pierre Cosse. We lose the bike path at about 4.5 kilometers and then continue on local roads, carefully. When we reach the intersection with the D65, we cross straight with the light and happily find our bike lane again. Now we're on a quiet country road. A little more climbing until we crest at about 6.5 kilometers. Then we're rewarded with a welcome downhill. After descending, we pick up a two-way bike track, which keeps us away from the D5 highway. This track follows the D5 for 14 kilometers, bypassing several towns. All of the crossings are well marked, so cycle traffic can be visible to motorists. This intersection in Pignon has integrated bike lanes into the road design. Going through Cournon-Tourelle, we see our first vineyard of the day, and it won't be the last. Languedoc is a huge wine-producing region. An interesting roadside attraction reminiscent of the Easter Island statues. At about 19.6 kilometers, the bike path disappears. As we proceed on the roundabout, our hopes for another cycle track also disappear. We're on the D5 for about 2 kilometers before we get a bike track once again, on the left side of the newly paved D5 to Montpellier. In 2019, it was unsigned. and easy to miss. As it winds through this tunnel, we cross from Montpellier into Poussin. On the ring road around Poussin, there's little traffic. At the roundabout, we're on the D2E5 for a bit. After about 2 kilometers, a turn to the D129 takes us to the bike path. This is an excellent divided track that takes us through marshland beside the Etang de Thau. It is really beautiful, and there's an opportunity to see many varieties of birds. We are now in Bouzigues on a ridge above the Etang, where we ride the balance of our route. From here we can get a glimpse of the oyster beds out in the Etang. The path is very well maintained and well signed. More vineyards as we pass through Lupien. 80% of the production here is red wine, mostly Syrah, Grenache, and Carignan. This region is also known for olive production. We follow the bike path right into Mèze. This is a very scenic way into town. The sea spreads out before us as we arrive at a palm-lined stretch before turning into the marina area to find our hotel. Mèze is a typical beach town with a harbor for pleasure craft, with plenty of restaurants and tourist amenities. These interesting jousting boats are used in regional competitions. Beyond the marina, there's a small church, the Chapelle des Pénitents de Mèze, and on a small hill above the township, the Église Saint-Hilaire.